SGC here. We're back for a movie review. Cloverfield Paradox. Directed by Julius Onah. I haven't seen anything that he's done. And written by Oren Uziel and Jung, and produced by J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Productions. Oren Uziel also was the director of Shimmer Lake, that's on Netflix, that came out last year, and he was also a screenplay writer for 22 Jump Street. And Jung worked on Star Trek Beyond. He wrote that and is apparently, according to IMDb, attached to the upcoming Scalp comic adaptation. So, interesting stuff. So who's in this movie? We got Daniel Bro, Elizabeth Debicki, Ansel Henny, Gugi Mbatha-Raw, Chris O'Dowd, John Ortez, David Oyelowo, and Zhang Ziyi. Holy smokes. I haven't seen her in a movie for a long time. So what's this movie about, yo? Holy smokes. Like, cause this they upped the game once, cause I don't know if you noticed, or you knew, but 10 Cloverfield Lane, the trailer was like 2 months before the movie dropped. That doesn't happen anymore. And this one, Paradox, the trailer came out 2 hours before it was aired on Netflix. That is crazy marketing. And we got Overlord coming up in October of this year. The 4th movie of this franchise, series, world, what have you. You can call it the 4th sequel, but it ain't. I mean, it happens in World War I, too. So it's a prequel. Speaking of prequels, this is what's it about. Time. Paradox. Cloverfield Paradox is also a prequel to the original Cloverfield that came out back in 2008. If you don't know, you literally could watch Paradox without seeing any of the other 2 films, which is the great part, because if you also don't know, the production design for these films is that they're filmed, they're written and planned without specific knowledge if it's going to be a Cloverfield universe movie, so it's not too tied down or bogged down by anything like that. So yeah, anyway, so this prequel. So basically it's about Earth having a global energy crisis by the time we hit 8 billion, the population, and the collective space agencies of the world launch the Cloverfield station, send up this Shepard particle accelerator to make unlimited energy type of thing. And they try it, and things go wrong, and that's the movie. What did I think? Well, first off, like Alter Carbon, this dealt with the whole language barrier thing well. Zhang Ziyi does not speak a lick of English in this movie. She speaks Mandarin all the time, and everyone understands her. And even the Russian dude speaks one line of Mandarin, which is interesting. And Daniel, and also Daniel speaks Mandarin. So that's a good thing. I mean, the fact for her to learn not heavily accented English is a lot harder than people understanding her. Just because narratively wise, it's a lot easier. And for foreigners to speak Mandarin with an accent, you expect that. And you don't really care in terms of American audiences. Granted, if this aired in China, or if you saw it in China, you'll be like, wow, Daniel's Mandarin is pretty atrocious. But that's expected because he's a white man learning Mandarin. But for some reason, the other way around is not acceptable. You can't speak English with an accent. It has to be perfect. Anyways, that's great. I love how they dealt with that. Secondly, holy smokes. As much as everyone loves Interstellar, I did not like the movie, except for one thing. It did time dilation well. Like how on the planet spinning this time, an hour is actually 40 days on the space station or your craft. And when you go so far out, for you it's been 2 weeks, but for Earth it's been like 20 years. That was a hard-hitting moment with grown-up Jessica Chastain with, alright. So yeah. So that is Interstellar. And now we finally have a film, recently anyways, of sci-fi that did multi-dimensional space well. And the ethics, the weirdness, all that stuff, great stuff. Chris O'Dowd's sort of humor works amazingly, because these are normal people, and for them to react the way that they do is very normal. And it doesn't become awkward or just off-putting, because it's like, how do you respond when you hand your own arm a pen? That's pretty whack Twilight Zone area. So I really did enjoy that. And we had this weird phasing to Becky here, and weird stuff happening, and I was like, just because of that, I enjoyed the film. Like, 1 hour in, when all these things started happening, I was like, great. And then you got that crazy water sequence. I mean, I don't think I've seen a space sequence with water involved like that, on that level. And then, granted, it got kind of very traditional with the whole taking people out one by one, and it's just like, dang it, it's that stupid space station thing trope where, you know, you just can't have everyone survive. Everyone just has to die, and then, like, things go wrong, and you gotta start sacrificing people, and that didn't go down with me too well. But the whole multi-dimensional ethics thing, like, do I stay or not, or what have you? Where are we? Loved it. Really enjoyed it. The whole thing is just like reading a sci-fi book. I read all the stuff, but I haven't seen it in visually. And it's just great to see how when you're thrown into another dimension, you replace the thing that you just mind-boggling. So let me try this. So let's say here is replaced by the same arm. So you can't occupy the same space, so something blows up. And then you're not even supposed to be in this dimension, and things go, like, super weird, and I loved it. So I sort of wish that was the more focal point of the movie, where just weird stuff just started happening. I think the sacrificial death and the whole gun stuff was just like, whoa. Just too reminiscent of what we've been having recently, of just this type of sci-fi. And then we have some stuff happening on Earth. So, if you didn't know, this is the actual prequel to Cloverfield, as in why Cloverfield happened is because of the space station. We have demons, and not demons, but like these monsters existing on our planet now. Or even, is it on our planet? Because I looked up something funny, tid a bit here, is that projected 8 billion population doesn't happen until 2024. And yet, Cloverfield, the movie, happened in 2008. So, like, our 2024 is there probably 2008 or whatever. So that's kind of fun. That they're not even within our own dimension, so they can totally spin it and go like different tech and all that, and we can't say much. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a fun sci-fi ride. The Twilight Zone stuff was great. Loved that. The humor worked. Just the ending was a bit too heavy-handed in terms of just typicalness. Like, it was just like, oh, that's how the movie's gonna end. Oh, okay. And then the ending, again, I felt like the movie could have ended a bit earlier. Because it just feels like too much in my face. Because I felt like with Cloverfield Lane, it also could have ended earlier. And I think it's the same thing here. Because it's like, we don't need this much obvious connection. I mean, we know that it's a prequel this time. So at least with 10 Cloverfield Lane, you can argue that it was not until that sequence. Well, not prequel, but just within the franchise. So there's that. Anyway, I enjoyed it. Holy crap, like 2 hours after a trailer drops and you watch the film. Pretty intense. Wonder if they're going to do anything with Overlord in terms of strange marketing. Is Paradox even going to be in theaters? I guess not. So I do wish for a physical release because it's a good thing to own. Because it's just like, wow, finally we got that multi-dimensional weird stuff. And hopefully a lot of people watch it. So, just support this. Because, I mean, Cloverfield Lane made a lot of money. It cost $15 million and it made $110 million. So there's that. So I don't wonder how they're going to make money off this. So, yeah, it's going to be weird. But yeah, great stuff. Really enjoyed it. Except for the ending and probably 3/4 or the last quarter. I think the last quarter was the weakest when it just became typical. But anyway, it was a good cast. They did what they needed. I liked their chemistry, and it was a multiculturalness, and you felt it, and It was good, and I enjoyed it, and totally check it out. Check it out, even if you haven't seen Cloverfield or 10 Cloverfield Lane. Just do it. It's not going to make that much of a difference, because they're not that connected. It's just, they are connected, but not like narratively you need to know. And plus, this is a prequel, so start here. Anyway, that's it. Talked too much, and that is it. So how do I end these things? Alright. If you have seen Cloverfield Paradox, leave your comments down below. Get back to you as soon as possible, and that is it for this movie review for the Cloverfield Paradox. Out.